Welcome to Loud and Clear, a program geared toward the younger generations. You can listen in every Thursday at 7 p.m. or find the plug to our YouTube channel on kgtcradio.com.
Hey, I'm Nathan.
And I'm Carlos.
And welcome to Loud and Clear. This week we are going to kind of hop right into our subject, but first we always do the highlight of the week. And it's been a while. For you guys listening, it'll have been just a week. But for us, it's been a little bit since we've been back recording. And so since then, we've had a marriage that has occurred. Our cousin has gotten married. We were a part of that. Melanie and I were pretty involved in that. It was super fun, super good time. A lot of fun things happened. I can't really think off the top of my head other than people tripping, with the groom tripping on the way out. That was pretty great. And then we've been babysitting or dog sitting for their golden retriever, Bell. And today she throat punched my wife on the couch. I guess I didn't hear it. I didn't even know. I just kept on going on with the conversation. But I guess she completely just throat punched my wife, and she went, "Bleh," and I didn't even know. So that happened this week. That's pretty much all I got, really. I mean, it's been good. It's been fun. It's been real, you know. How about you?
I had a guy tell me that my facial hair was on point.
That's
that was
great.
Like, he locked eyes with me, so that was
That's
nice.
I
mean, I didn't really know how to take it at first.
Yeah.
But I took it as a good thing.
That's good. I mean, it is on point. It's
right,
actually looking really good.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
It just made my day.
Yeah. Do you have like a trimmer that you use? Or
I do,
like,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My wife's my trimmer.
Oh, okay.
I make her do my facial hair for me.
So it's like electronic?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, babe, it's your turn. You're up.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Wait, so she does it for you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the reason why it's on point.
Because I'm lazy.
Yeah. No,
I'll let it grow out and
I would make her do
yeah.
my wife do it too if that was an option.
I'll make my wife cut my toenails for me too, but whatever.
Oh, really?
Yes, I do.
Wow, that is submission.
She's just like lining all the kids up, and then I'm like at the very end with my feet hanging out. I'm next.
Oh my god, that's rough. Actually, I don't think Melanie would never do that for me. That's
what?
She's shaking her head right now.
Shame on you, Melanie.
Yeah, there is no way.
But don't you guys have a pretty weird night routine though, right? Because don't you guys like put lotion on your feet before you go to bed?
Yeah. So I do. Well, I have like dry feet, so it's nice. I don't know. Have you ever went to like a water slide or a water park? And then just like walked around all day barefoot.
Yes.
And then tried to go to bed and your feet like catch, or they're dry and they catch on the sheet and stuff. Lotion fixes that. So next time, just bring a bunch of lotion with you when you go to a water park or something.
Fun fact: I always have socks or shoes.
Do you
on.
sleep with your socks on?
So, for the most part, yes. But
really?
Most of the time,
For the most part.
There's
I was thinking the other way around.
There's days where like I'll get into bed and I'm like, it's a good day to sleep without my socks.
Okay.
But like, yeah, I don't know why. I'm like, I think it's because I'm like, what if
that's
somebody...
not hot?
No.
Oh, okay.
We have an air conditioner in our room and it's set to like as low as it, and a fan.
Yeah.
Like a ceiling fan. So it's
you're like chilly in the morning.
Yeah, it's like probably 65 degrees in my room when I wake up.
Nice.
Thanks to my wife.
Nice.
It's not the greatest, but it's okay.
I love that. I love being cold when I get
I don't. When I wake up, I want to be warm. I don't want to be like...
That's true. If I'm going to stay in bed, I want to be cold.
Yeah,
like
see, that's fine,
under the covers, but if I'm like, I got to get up and it's cold like outside of the bed,
then I don't want to get up.
That sucks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Huh. Well, interesting. Well, I'm not going to judge you on the socks thing because I do that occasionally. If we're in a place where if I don't have lotion, for two, if it's cold, like really cold, I will keep my socks
So do you put
on.
lotion on your wife's feet and she puts lotion on your feet, or do you do your own feet?
No, because Melanie usually stays up really late, so I usually go to bed way before.
Same.
Yeah, so I'm usually in bed. Yeah, so we don't really do that so much anymore. But yeah, no, not really.
So I know some people just don't like feet, so it's like...
No, yeah, we don't have that problem really with each other because usually we've washed our feet beforehand. So yeah, usually it's pretty good. But
it's like fresh out of a boot.
Yeah, fresh.
Here, babe.
Yeah,
lather these babies up.
Oh man, if I'm working all day, I usually wear tennis shoes.
Yeah.
If I'm working all day, and then I get off work, that's bad.
Yeah.
That would be bad. And so I don't make her it's like they've had to be aired out or like washed beforehand. But no, I might share some more of my night routine on the next episode. Yeah, that'll be my highlight of the week. So, but anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move on into the topic for this week, and it's kind of a serious topic, but at the same time, like I think that I want to be encouraging to if you're a teen out there, a young adult, because I think that you've probably battled on how to interpret the world around us. Things that are going on, battles that people face, and then also just like world events. So, I kind of titled this when I was thinking about it was just the world around us, and it's coming out of Matthew chapter 24. I did not put that on our paper, but Matthew chapter 24 and verse 4, and I'm gonna start reading that. And we're going to read through verse 14. So it says, "And Jesus answered them, 'See that no one leads you astray. For many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and they will lead many astray. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed, for this must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are but the beginning of the birth pains. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and put you to death, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many will fall away and betray one another and hate one another. And many false prophets will arise and lead many astray. And because lawlessness will be increased, the love of many will grow cold. But the one who endures to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be proclaimed throughout the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come.'" So I think that if you're a young person listening, like a lot of times I think that what we can unfortunately do is we tune out whenever we hear end time stuff, whenever we hear things that talk about that, we can tune out. We can just kind of go into like defense mode and not want to hear it, you know? And I get that because I don't know about you. I grew up with that around me. Yeah. And it terrified me.
No, I agree.
It really did.
Yeah.
It was not the best thing to hear all the time, but you know, I mean, when it's talking about like I think that we're experiencing being hated for being Christians right now.
Absolutely.
You know, I think that the being killed for being a Christian, things like that. I think that where you're seeing that is you are seeing that in third world countries. You're seeing that in other countries. I don't know if that will ever be something that comes to the United States. I don't know. It may never. Yeah. You know, we're a nation under God, and we don't know if that's going to be the way it is till the end. It could still be. We don't know what it's going to look like. Again, we might be, you know, we're a first world nation. That may never be a part of the tribulation that you and I face.
Exactly.
But we might be hated.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, we're already hated, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's not blatantly in our face like it is in other countries, we're already hated for our faith, right? I mean, like, you can believe that a frog is God and you're praised for it. Like, you're like, oh, the people are like, that's so cool. And then you say, I believe in God. And they're like,
yeah.
Like, really, dude? You know? So it's like, there's already that wall set up against Christianity. And so I think with all this, we instantly just go to the worst.
Yeah.
Like, we're like, oh, we're going to die. Someone's going to kill me for believing in God. And I mean, Jesus starts out, because this is Jesus talking, and he just says, don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Like, he starts out with, don't be frightened.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's good. And that's truth, is like for you as being teenagers is really your goal is to focus on your relationship with God and to focus on getting closer to God, and God will put convictions in your heart, you know, on what you're to stand for. And I think that you'll be surprised with yourself because it's not actually you, it's God in you.
Yeah.
And so what you'll be able to withstand, what you'll be able to go through, will actually surprise you. But we're never meant to. It says, "Do not fear." Yeah. You know, it says to not be alarmed by wars and rumors of wars. So, you know, and I don't know. You know, we don't know exactly when this specific program is going to air, but at this time of recording, basically the U.S. is determining whether or not to get involved with the Israel-Iran war that's starting right now. And, you know, and so we don't know. Yeah. We don't know what that's going to look like. But at the same time, we're not supposed to sit here and freak out about it. as of right now, it's not necessarily touching us, other than we should pray for Israel, absolutely. And we should just pray for our nation. But it's not something that we should be sweating bullets or staying up all night thinking about, dwelling on. We just need to trust God, and not be afraid. What does that mean for the daily life in a teenager, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about a little bit, is like, when it comes to world events, like how much should a teenager think about that?
Yeah, I think, I don't think there's anything wrong with necessarily knowing what's going on around the world, but I think, there has to be this healthy balance of, I think it takes a mature believer to be able to see kind of what's going on around the world and not be gripped by fear, because I think it's human nature to fear. It's human nature to see things like that and instantly go to, what's going to happen. If this continues, what's going to happen? And then it kind of just, the snowball effect just comes into effect, and then you're going from one thing to another. And so, I'm not a big fan of the news. I don't really listen to it or watch it or read it. And it's not because I don't care, but I think I don't want that stuff flooding my mind. I think that I want to focus on, and you said it, my relationship with God. And like I said, and it is good to know what's going on, because we need to know what to be praying for, what to be praying against. And but in the sense of, I don't need to know every detail. I don't need to, there's people that are going on the news to try to find I don't know, these sad stories, and it can be very depressing. The truth is, we live in a fallen world, and these things are, they're going to happen. Jesus warns us about it. These wars and nation coming against nation and kingdoms against kingdoms, and it's going to happen. But I don't want to dwell on those things. So I think if you know that you have a tendency to kind of just go down this rabbit hole of negativity, I would suggest to try and stay away from it as much as you can, just because it's not healthy. Yeah. If you know that's what your tendency to do, I would stay away from it.
Yeah,
but if you can endure it, and you take it to God, and you can handle those things. But God doesn't want you dwelling on things that are going to bring fear into your life. Yeah. And so if those things bring fear, anxiety, any of that kind of stuff, and this goes with anything. If anything you're doing brings those things, you probably shouldn't be doing them. Yeah. As far as the negative aspect of things, and so that's just kind of my 2 cents on it.
No, and I think that's good. And I think that growing up, unintentionally by some of the older generation, I was almost made to feel guilty for not being in the know. Yeah. If you don't know what's going on, then that's not okay. Yeah. And it's I think it's kind of hard to not know the major things that are you heard it word of mouth at work, you know what I mean? So it's it's impossible for us to not know that there's something going on. Again, the things that we need to know, right? Exactly. There's things that the little fine details. I mean, sometimes I find myself I don't really watch the news, but then there's times where something will happen and I'll go on a little streak of trying to get caught up. Yeah. And then I'll kind of detach again and go back to, whatever content I usually consume. And it was I went on a little bit of a streak, but I realized I was almost fishing for more information, and I was wanting more information, but it was just the same story being reported over and over and over again. Nothing was really changing. Yeah. And the main title, you can almost just look at the title of the video and get what you need to know. Yeah. This is happening. Okay. Maybe watch the first few seconds. You're done. And I think that it doesn't change our mission. None of this stuff changes our mission. And if it does, then maybe you weren't in the right place to begin with. Yeah. If it makes you want to get more serious about God, your relationship with God should never be driven out of fear. Yeah. I think that we get fear in the sense of being afraid, because God says not to be afraid, and there is no fear in love. Yeah. Perfect love casts out all fear. Confused with fear as in respect, and honor and awe. Those are two completely different things. Absolutely, yeah. And we get them confused so much that I think that we need to, putting the fear of God into people. Yeah. No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't do it as a church. We shouldn't do it as fellow teens. If you're a teenager and you preach at your turn or burn, that's not going to help anybody around you. Absolutely. Don't go there. Don't do that. So I would say it shouldn't change your mission.
Yeah.
You know, it shouldn't change your daily walk. You should just continue to pursue your relationship with God and not be concerned, be unbothered, ask God to help you be unbothered by all these things.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
And I like one thing you said about like fearing God and like there's, you know, the fear of the Lord is simply like understanding that he is so powerful.
Yeah.
And so he can do anything, right?
Yes,
and so
yeah.
I think like the fear of God isn't like, oh, I'm trembling before my king, but it's like I have a healthy fear. It's like I always had a healthy fear of my dad.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that, you know, he could kill me if he wanted to, but I didn't fear him in a sense of like, oh, I can't approach him. I just knew like, you know, this is my dad. And so there's this respect that I had for him because of his place in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think as a believer, just recognizing that like God is, he created what we know.
Yeah.
And so I think there's just like that respectful, like I fear him because just who he is, but not isn't like, oh, he's going to hurt me, you know, because God's not trying to hurt you, but understanding that you are the size of an ant compared to our God.
Yeah.
And remembering that deep down that, you know, I mean, and I think about it like this, you know, he's counting every breath, you know, that I take, you know, and if he was to snap his fingers and I was to utter my last breath, he would be right so in doing, you know, it would be just. And so having that fear of like God can do anything because he's righteous and holy, he can do anything and it would be fair and just. And so, but it's not this trembling. I don't tremble before God in the sense of, you know, but I think that's important.
Yeah. Yeah. And knowing the capacity of God and like what he, like you were saying, kind of like what he's capable of, what he could do. And like that's the way I feel. I've used this analogy a few times in youth about like the ocean. Yeah. Like standing in front of the ocean. The ocean itself, like going out on the ocean, like going on a boat, you know, whatever. Some people are afraid of that, but like
me.
But I mean, just kind of being out there, like there's not necessarily anything scary on top of the water. Yeah. If it's a calm sea, you know, or whatever. It's just water, right? I mean, obviously there's creatures and stuff like that, but the water itself, because like when you're standing out like on the beach or when you're standing out overlooking the ocean, even that was kind of like there was this feeling of like, whoa. Because like the capacity of that, if all of a sudden a tsunami came in, the capacity of this right now could totally like engulf me. Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of the way that we should think about God in the sense of like, not that there's any intention to hurt you, but the capacity of like the greatness of God. Yeah. How like, I mean, it's just overwhelming. Exactly. And that's kind of the way like I think about the ocean. I also think about that way about the woods. Yeah. They always say to respect Mother Nature or whatever. Yeah. It's kind of like because, you know, the woods aren't trying to kill you. Yeah. But like if you're not prepared, if you're prepared, you have no issues. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
But if you're not prepared, you could have some major issues, you know. And so you're respecting it and you're doing something you know, you're following something because of your respect and because of your healthy fear that you have. But I think that that's just like hopefully encouraging to people out there and that are thinking about like, and we'll continue this in the next one a little bit, but focusing on just like the whole idea of this war, even if it does start, honestly, like, you know, I pray that if it does, if we do get involved, that it's that, you know, like, honestly, I think that we should never as Christians just have a desire just to go home. Like, I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with wanting, like, being excited for heaven, but I think that we should always be like on mission. Being like, I want to be here longer because I want to win more people to Christ. You know, I want to serve God. I want to help like get more people to know Christ while I'm here. I don't want to just call it quits and just ditch, you know, and dip. And I think that, you know, I think it's easier as we get older to kind of just be like, I just want to go home. Yeah. Like, I just want God to show up. I just want God to be, obviously for the teenager, if you're listening, you're thinking, I just want to get married first. You know, like I don't want the rapture to come. Too. I thought that too, you know, and it's like, at the same time,
why?
I mean, I'm excited for life. I mean, there's things in my life, and there's nothing wrong with being excited for plans, because I think that the most toxic thing that somebody can do in the church is if somebody's excited about a future, to counter that with like, well, if we're even here, you know, or all those different things. It's like, stop saying that. You know, just be encouraging, be loving, but like be wise, you know, and like if they're on mission and they're loving the Lord and they're pursuing their future, like, we also thought everything was ending in the 80s and in the 70s and before that,
and 2000s.
Yes.
But also, it says here in this text that everything we're seeing today is just the beginning.
Yes, exactly.
Jesus said it's not. We're like, are we in the last days? Yes.
Yeah.
But this is the beginning. This isn't the middle. We're not even like. This is the beginning of this stuff. So, and this could go on for. It doesn't tell us how long this could go. This could go on for, I don't know. Yeah. It could go on for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40. We don't know. Yeah. But not living in fear is what we need to focus on.
Yeah. Yeah. The eternity in the eye of the beholder is like, is completely perceived differently than we can.
Absolutely.
It's just like we think like a year is a long time. It's nothing to God. No. And so we don't know. We don't know, like, what seems soon to God may be 50 years from now. Yeah, exactly. We don't, technology might advance a lot more and, you just don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, it's absolutely. Like, I look at the world and I look at like, there's some crazy stuff that's ahead of us as far as tech goes and stuff like that, which some of it's like, oh, that's super cool. And then some of it's like, I don't know. Yeah. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see how things go. But as a young believer, I think that you should be excited for what God has for you, excited for the plans that God has for you, and don't necessarily, I think, pray for your nation, pray for the world. Yes. Just include that in your thoughts and your prayers, but be sensitive to the Holy Spirit. I mean, if you're a young person and you feel like God's speaking something specific to you about the world or something like, and you feel led to share that with somebody or whatever, maybe so. But at the same time, don't ever let fear drive you. Yeah. Don't ever let emotion drive you in that, and just seek God and be close to Him. But we are probably actually going to wrap it up. We do not have time for the question for this week, but we will get to questions next week. And so thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you next time on Loud and Clear.
Tune in to Loud and Clear every Thursday at 7 p.m. or listen online at kgtcradio.com.